Alright, we're back. We're ready to prove innocence.
And find a guilty man, not a
February
woman.
20, February 25th, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
He's the doctor.
Yes, that's the deadlock.
Well, this is the defendant lobby, alright, but there's still no defendant. Where is she?
I don't think she has control over when she gets here.
Where's Emma for that matter?
Something's been happening behind the scenes. Is that Gumshoe? Oh, it's Edgeworth.
Edgeworth.
Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of 77, ID is.
Well, I have a pretty strong hunch.
It's all but confirmed.
Looks like I'm not the only one who figured it out.
The only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt on this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything.
True. Not yet.
In any event, all doubt has been removed from that list. I can call for a ruling on the defendant 5 minutes after the trial starts. Lana will be found guilty.
But she didn't do it!
I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here to hear what you have to say.
This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Then is hiding something. And the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out.
The truth.
Everything goes back to the SL9 incident.
Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We have time to reminisce about the past.
That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you lose your only chance to find out what really happened.
I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright.
This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Well, we already know why things went a bit. It's just about finding out the nitty-gritty of it.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make.
Chief Gant? I don't like this.
Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Edgy, been back at the pool yet? Oh, I've been drowning enough work as it is. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. Don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? That is to say, the defendant has asked me if she could speak directly to the court.
She wants to do what?
Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. He blackmailed her.
Pretty much. Emma is in his custody.
What's this all about, defendant? I'd like to make one simple request and I'll be finished. Then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial.
Huh?
I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office.
Lana! You can't!
Oh,
Your
whoops.
Honor, the defense claim does not change the defense's plea.
Okay, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services.
Lana!
Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me. But it's officially proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I'd like you to render your verdict now, if you please. While the defendant certainly has all right to self-representation, her request is legally valid, although it is unprecedented This is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
Gat knows what we're up to.
Appears the time for the verdict has arrived. The defense, this court finds the defendant.
Edgeworth, save us!
I think he did. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth? Prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you. Why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, hmm? Don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. Edgeworth's trying to take it to Gant now. This is a confession from the defendant. It's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. What kind of deal, hmm? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? Its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears from her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to... I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. Get him. I think he's actually trying to say... To expose the truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it'd be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. That's a good quote, Edgeworth.
Get him!
Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. It's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy? You'll live to regret this, mark my words. Oh my god, that's just a straight-up threat.
Yeah, because he's hiding something and he knows he's being threatened.
So Emma's here.
Yep. I'm not sure if that is the case. I think she has to be brought here.
The way he said it sounded like she was here. Now, the witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. Occupation?
Well, we know what happened with her.
I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark at the Joe Dark killings. Is that correct? Yes. Trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Sir, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Apparently,
the defense also agrees with the stance, Your Honor.
Yes. Well, okay then.
Sure, kid was fast.
Now, yeah, Edgeworth is in control here. I told you, this first game is mostly about Edgeworth than anyone else. Please testify about... Yeah. Please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago.
The trip yesterday has finally begun. Or yesteryear. Bound to lead to the truth behind this trial.
I was waiting in my sister's office that day. They came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. I never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Wait, wasn't he stabbed in the back?
Good question.
It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out, I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth. What does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor.
You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. I will say this: it's nice seeing both the defense and the prosecution work together to get him, man.
This is how this should work.
Like, I wish
What?
most law worked like that. Okay, so... Well, I don't think we need to press this. We know this. Okay.
We know it was Joe Dark.
Uh-huh. We know
Okay,
that.
that
Press. Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It's about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out.
Wait a minute. It was pitch dark in that room. You shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? But just then, lightning flashed again outside. Flash left an unforgettable image on the scene of my mind. I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman, who is in charge of the case.
Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Hear more.
I gotta hear more.
So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago.
Yes? That's what's so scary about the trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw. Yes, but at that time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before.
Ask about the picture.
That picture, the witness drew. I believe it is a very important to me that.
The list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, if you mind, add this statement to your testimony.
So...
We have that picture. It's not lost.
Mr. Edgeworth? This little girl put all her heart into this drawing, that picture. And yet you still insist on denying its existence?
Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture.
That may well be. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold.
This is the evidence list from the SL9 incident.
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over. Turn it. Ah, what's this? What is this? That's it. That's the picture I drew. It's not too bad, considering.
Yeah, I mean, for a bad drawing, better than I would do.
Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling. What's the meaning of this? What are you trying to do with that list?
Me?
Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to it. Huh? These lists. They're different from each other. What? It appears, Mr. Edgeworth, the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to one form. See the marks here where they were torn apart from each other.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in the case ever reached you.
What? What? Order! Order! Who'd have thought the picture would have been drawn on the back of the list? I was handed to Detective Goodman in the questioning room?
Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor?
You're alright, Mr. Wright. Your eyes are bulging from your head.
If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's see. He is.
Oh, that bothers him. They never looked the back of it.
You even have to ask. Yeah, I agree with Phoenix. Sorry, Your Honor. Something drawn on the back of my list. This...
What?
It's the Badger?
The Badger?
That's... that thing. I think it was dancing in the evidence room. The head of criminal affairs used this for his blueprint.
Guess he's a scrap paper. What?
Let's take a gander at that first.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can we turn it?
No. Just gotta turn your head.
But if that's the drawing, and that's something she drew, what is the top drawing then? What was that picture of?
Please testify about the picture you drew 2 years ago. Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she saw the picture.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture showed exactly what I saw in that instance.
I mean, it's not hard to imagine it. Especially given the circumstances.
To think the flash of lightning could burn such an image into your mind.
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
So why did she draw the upper image?
I think I know why.
Repress?
I don't think... we can. I don't think it'll help, though. Because all it's going to be like is, yeah, I drew this.
Okay, so go to the next line then.
Flash of lightning is so bright, all I can see are shadows. That doesn't really tell us anything either. Okay. I think really it's that last line we want to worry about again. After all, I must...
This one? Yeah, I want to press this.
Well, there's this line. This is the one I want. This picture shows exactly... Well, here's the thing. Look at that picture. That knife is not sharp.
Yeah.
And yet... Where is it? Stabbed in the back, which... Whatever, that's not the important part here. Punctured, the tip was in the wound. But there's no tip in that drawing.
Yeah.
I think that we gotta present this.
Yeah, I think so. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction.
What? I still remember it like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright? Perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out the contradiction for us.
The weapon.
Yes. Specifically the tip of the weapon. Contradiction, of course, lies
here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look at it closely, you can see that it's broken.
In fact, you don't even have to look closer to see that. Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. That's a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple.
Huh? Where could you possibly see a problem?
It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not have been broken.
What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. That makes no sense then.
Yeah. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there.
That's right. What does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation of the witness memory is mistaken.
That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered it correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time. But she was sure she remembered correctly.
But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency.
Not so fast, Mr. Edward. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already about a little something called falsified evidence?
Treading on thin ice, Mr. Wright.
All I'm saying is that this broken knife might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility.
No. Order! 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 Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me once again to go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neo Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in his story, there is a lie.
I'm not lying. Emery really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. It must have been another broken knife. What's the chances of there being two broken knives?
Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? We haven't seen any such thing, have we? Wait a minute.
No.
We have.
Oh. Well,
We
not the
have
shield.
seen one.
Where do we see it?
No, but like in this picture. Yes, there could have been one.
The sharp thingy.
The sword. Well, not even that. The sword is also missing from the statue.
Okay.
From the freaking award.
There is another one, is the point.
If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained by a simple observational error.
Mr. Wright.
In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, feel free to please enlighten us.
There's only one way. Yep.
We need the picture because it has it in there.
Yeah. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture.
This is a picture of the award ceremony. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon.
Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding.
That's a broken knife.
As we earlier concluded, the knife in the picture was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood this award.
Order!
Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and a broken knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being the prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation.
That can't be.
Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth?
Because if the King of Prosecutors award knife with the murder weapon, that the murderer would and the victim would be reversed.
What do you mean?
I mean, the man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
Oh. Oh!
The prosecutor was actually the one who died.
That's true. What's going on here?
Edgeworth made a good point. What is going on? Seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Who's interrupting now? Oh, it's Emma. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? This list? The one with the picture scribbled on the back? This. I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What?
You drew that?
That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor.
First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. Because that's the thing, I keep trying to tilt my head to look at it properly. It's like, I'm not seeing what it's supposed to be.
When I saw the man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. It wasn't in the room. I'm sure I saw a shadow.
What?
This is...
Because there is actually one thing that's been bothering me about this whole thing so far.
What's that?
About this incident.
What?
Joe Dark was in here.
Yes.
Marshall ran after him. Where was Gant?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Try impossible. The head detective of criminal affairs didn't even design him until this year.
That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may now... Stop! Please, don't pursue this any further.
Lana.
What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. If you can't do this, I already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Prosecutor Skye. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
Seems we're finally getting to the core of this matter.
And so I think we really want to focus on that blue badger thing. That doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. This.
Press. Are you sure about this?
Of course, see? Draw a picture of him here. What? Detective Criminal Affairs thought of this hideous beast, and that was this year. The badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. That would sound strange, but I'm surprised too when I saw the police department. A nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. Ah, I finally remember.
Just when you felt that this thing had caused enough commotion.
Tell us, where in this room did you see him dancing? So, I think these last two statements are the important ones. press this one.
His shadow?
Which means she didn't actually see the badger
What do you
himself.
mean you didn't actually see his face with Wayne's smile and all?
That's right. I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. It's pointless. They could not have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. It may well be. Oh, whoops.
What's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did.
Oh, I suppose you have an explanation. If so, then by all means tell us what the shadow really was.
What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger really?
We know.
I guess I might just know.
Yes. I figured this out
Certainly
/ remembered.
saw its shadow.
Whoops, sorry. My bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is defense belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room.
Mr. Wright. Alright, what is it? What is it? Oh, what is it the witness saw in that instant?
Wait a minute.
Do you know?
I think I realized it. I just realized it. The jar, right?
There!
This has finally come together. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this.
This... There... What exactly is this? I've been asking the same thing.
I believe it's some sort of jar.
Mr. Wright doesn't look anything like the blue badger.
Indeed, it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar.
It's an ugly jar.
However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
Yes, there you go. I think you need that rotated a bit. Isn't right?
Oh, never mind the fence.
Yeah, you didn't have it light, right?
Okay, I'll fix it. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
This is gonna be one of those things where it needs to be at a very specific angle.
I think you need to turn it, like turn it on the side more.
Like that?
Like that, yeah, I think. Nope, like that.
Think that's good?
Maybe a bit higher.
Like that?
Like that. Like that, yeah. What do you mean this isn't right? How precise do we have to be?
I don't know, but I'm glad it...
Do we have to turn it the other way? No, that wouldn't make sense.
No, we definitely have it like the right way here. We just have to get it.
This thing is so specific. Wait a minute. No, that's not right either, is it? Is that what's supposed to be, isn't it?
I don't know. This is a little annoying.
This actually is annoying. Maybe a bit more.
I don't know. Try it like that.
Oh.
Whatever, it works.
Yeah, sure. It's not like we didn't do that already. Well, this is a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger.
No. It can't be.
The blue badger was nothing more than a jar?
Copyright. Emma created the blue badger. Order, order. Defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although, we all enjoy Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? That's a fair question, actually.
Explain.
What do you mean? So this badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything.
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edward. You see, this changes everything.
Indeed? Very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar?
The murder weapon... No, he was stabbed once. That was how he died. The murderer, though.
Just wanna...
Yeah, the jar is right there.
The jar's there. I wish it said, like, where exactly in the room he died.
No, we know where in the room he died. Remember, we saw the blood trace. It was over on the left side of the room. Gant's desk and office was on the right.
Well, that's my point. Did say that he was... But wait, we saw the blood on...
The left side. Behind Sky's desk. Behind Lana's, I should say.
So then the location's wrong.
Wait a minute.
Because it's on the opposite side of the room.
Well, wait, where did they establish it was on the... Wait a minute, hold on a second.
Well, the pot's not the murder weapon. That doesn't help us. It doesn't figure out the murderer. It has to be the location. It has to be at the other side of the room.
Okay. I guess. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar.
Not only that, but she saw it in a very specific angle.
Knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Where?
The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on the shelf in the office of Damon Gant.
The body was found laying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself.
Yes. And it is these last two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dr. Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, Chief Gant's office.
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's side of the office to Lana Sky's?
Yes.
Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. Oh. I agreed with the exactly, so I had to say it.
If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason.
Do you know what the reason was, Mr. Wright?
Finally figured it out. This is why Light tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
Could have... the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall?
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf and the jar was sitting on, what would have hit?
Suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword.
Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the prosecutor's award.
No. That's right, you can't be thinking.
Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Another possibility?
Of course, perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. Oh no.
Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If the events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
Yep. Shit. The ugly truth.
You mean? Uh-oh. Mr. Marshall died because of me? She's gonna faint. Yep, there she goes.
Don't blame her. Don't blame her in the least bit.
Imagine her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life. And then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
Accidental, though.
What? What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Guy, but given the circumstances...
Joe Dog murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How could you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin this crime on her?
Imagine that coming from you.
Thanks. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did. What was that? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, you have no idea what you're talking about.
The desperation.
If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have to have proof. Tell me. Do you have any conclusive evidence that proves that my sister killed Neil Marshall?
Evidence?
I think we do, actually. Yes, it'd certainly be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, they'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead.
We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning.
Touché, Miss Guy. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. There's still another possibility? Oh, whoops. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind him the name of the person who took his life. Somehow. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, this is the only possibility left for you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
Yes.
Gotta think back to the court records.
And you saw this earlier.
Is in the evidence.
The message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? I'm mistaken, Miss Guy. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
Back to the jar.
Back to the jar.
This is the message left by the deceased.
That is the Blue Badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to speak the killer's name? That thing could, I'm sure it would. I think Edgeworth just called it cursed.
The message was left here, on the surface of this jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like...
Someone wiped the blood away.
Yes, but notice. For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away.
There are lines here drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines.
Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. used his few precious moments left him to leave behind a message.
One that someone apparently wiped away. Blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions.
Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent.
No. Mr. Wright? What
We
kind
have
of
to
message
use
did the victim leave for us?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe the bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Yeah. I thought we were actually going to use the FM or whatever, or like
That's what I thought.
whatever it was. Can you move that over to one more?
Nope.
Nope.
I cannot.
It's a defense attorney's duty to prove his client's innocence. That's what all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this.
Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. All people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Oh, whoops. That was you.
Damn.
See, Worthy? Can't say I didn't warn you.
I'm not done with you, Kent.
Do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
I'm afraid that's not important. I mean, it kinda is. He wasn't an innocent man, he was innocent of that final murder, but... didn't you know, we aren't defenders of justice.
I'm sorry, what?
We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility fails the prosecutor of charge. Despite what anyone may say, the fact cannot be denied.
Oh no. Oh, that's...
That might sentence. Yeah, that's the crowd talking. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order, order, order!
Well, the gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared recess. Where this trial heading, no one knows.
We're almost there, Deadlock. 2 sections left.
We solved one murder,
Well, sort of.
but not another.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.